Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Akuma X series reel. This came out earlier this year and I've finally been able to use it quite a bit, catch some really nice fish on it. So we're going to go ahead and dive in and do a full review of this thing. Alright, so before we get into the review, just going to be completely upfront. I am partnered with Akuma. They sent me this reel, I didn't buy it. But with that being said, I'm going to give my honest opinion on it, go over all the things that I really like about it, and then maybe a couple things that it could use some improvement on because nothing's perfect. Now, Akuma is a very awesome company that they always want to get better. They want that feedback. They want to be putting the best products out on the market that they can for the best price point. So, you know, some constructive criticism, you know, is always welcomed, and I appreciate that about them. So let's go ahead and dive in for this awesome little inshore reel. All right, so to begin things here, this is the box it comes in, X Series 3000. First thing you're gonna notice, a 3-year warranty. That is pretty much unheard of in the $200 price range for spinning reels. Most other companies have like a 1-year warranty at the most on these things. But it's really nice to know that on these higher end Okuma products, they're gonna stand behind it. You got 3-year warranty there. That's just an awesome feature to have when you're spending this kind of money on a reel. Real quick, I'll go through the specs here. 10.1 bearings, so it's super smooth. 6.2 to 1 gear ratio, so it's got a nice quick retrieve speed of about 33 inches per crank. The reel only weighs 7 ounces, and you've got 24 pounds of drag if you should need it, which in freshwater and light inshore, it's unlikely that you will, but it's nice to have it there. You know, you could put 20 to 30 pound braid on the 3000 or 4000 and pitch docks and fish close to cover and mangroves, and, you know, really pull on some fish to get them out of there. So it's nice to know you can crank that drag up if you need to. Now, opening this box up here, really cool little bag that comes with it to carry it around in. Very nice, high quality. It's like padded in there. It's gonna protect that reel for you. And you've got a really nice quality print there, Okuma. Yeah, cool little bag that it comes with. You know, most expensive reels will come with a bag, but this one is just really nice. You know, the Shimano ones you get are basically just cloth that don't really protect it too much. This actually has some padding to it, and yeah, I like that. So inside the box also, you've got the actual reel warranty here, and then just the parts list, schematics. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about with this reel is going to be the drag, just because I think that the drag on a spinning reel is the most important part. You're basically using the rod to do your casting, your retrieving of the lure, setting the hook, everything like that. But you could have the smoothest reel in the world, but if it doesn't have a good drag system, once you hook into a fish and it starts pulling, things can go wrong very quickly. So you want a super smooth drag, you want a strong drag, something that's going to give when you need it to avoid breaking fish off. So this has been excellent so far. It's been my favorite thing about this reel. The drag clicker itself, I very much enjoy. It's got that kind of louder ping to it, which when you get a good pulling fish, you know, it's just the best sound in the world. So love that about it. The drag clicker itself, you can make, you know, tiny little micro adjustments. They did a great job at, you know, how you can really dial in how you want your drag. And the drag washers themselves, it's what they call carbonite drag washers from Akuma. They're carbon fiber basically, but that's pretty much the standard for inshore type reels nowadays. So while we have this off, we'll go ahead and just take a quick look at the spool itself. Nice cutouts here, reduces some weight. Reminds me of a Stratic spool. Got your line clip there. It's very strong, you know, it's not got any give to it. It's completely aluminum. And I've got 10-pound braid on here. I have 150 yards on this, and I probably put 20 to 30 yards of some light mono backing on there. So holds plenty of line, and overall, just a really nice spool that balances out really nicely with the rest of the reel. So you can see this thing is extremely smooth. It just keeps going and going and going. It's got those 10 bearings, so it's very, very smooth, but I think what it mainly is how refined it is as far as where the main gear meets the pinion gear and the drive shaft and everything together, because you really, when you turn the handle here, you can't even feel, you know, any gears moving or anything. It feels like nothing's there. So if you like really smooth reels, definitely pick one of these up and give it a couple spins. And so we'll talk about the body of the reel here next. And this is another one of my favorite things about it, is just the fact that it's all aluminum, so it's extremely strong. It's got these cool little cutouts on it, so it looks nice and it reduces some weight, but there's absolutely no give anywhere in the body or frame of this reel, which is something that's very important to me when I'm inshore fishing. I don't like using any sort of carbon composite bodied reels. They just kind of feel like plastic to me, and it's not what I'm looking for in an inshore reel. So the rotor of this reel is very nicely made, and it is, I think, that kind of carbon composite type material, but that's completely okay being inside of a rotor. It really, really saves a ton of weight on these things, and you really can't even tell, you know, too much of a difference as far as strength goes. I don't find any sort of flex or anything when I'm using it, which is nice. And then the wired bail here is a one-piece bail system. Really nice. Line roller bearing has been very impressive, especially coming from someone who uses a lot of Shimano in the past, where after a couple months of heavy saltwater use, you start getting a raspy, kind of slower roller bearing there. So haven't had any issues with it so far, and I've been using it quite often. So here's the handle. Now this is something that I've had a couple small issues with. Nothing too serious, but definitely worth noting. So where the handle connects to the reel is very nice. You've got good seals, both here on the handle and where it connects there. And it's one of these straight thread right in direct connections, which is very nice. And then you can just switch it to the other side by taking that cap off if you need to. All right, so once we get tightened up here and connected to the reel, the handle does have a tiny little bit of handle play. Very, very minimal. You can only really notice it if you're trying to do it. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth. But when you're actually out there fishing with this thing, you cannot notice it at all. And it doesn't really affect the performance. Then the grip here, I really like the shape and the feel of this grip. It's very comfortable and just makes turning the reel very enjoyable. I really like that. However, I've had two little issues with this part here. So this whole thing kind of came off of the little piece that extends off of the handle that this rests on, and I had to super glue it back. I think they just didn't really put quite enough glue on there when they were assembling it. But once I super glued it back, it's really on there very, very good. And I haven't had any issues with it since then. But then the cap here on the end, that came off while I was wade fishing. Not really sure what happened, but I lost it in the water and couldn't find it. So waiting for them to send me a little cap to replace on there. But other than that, it's a very solid handle. It's strong. The connection's good. And again, you really cannot feel any gears moving when you turn the handle, which is nice, makes it feel very smooth. All right, guys, so just gonna wrap it up by talking a little bit about what kind of rod I would recommend pairing up with this. So anything from 7 to 7.5 foot in a medium power fast action is going to be ideal. This is the Okuma DTR custom line in the jig and jerkbait model. 7'2", 8 to 14, 1/8 to 5/8 ounce lures. Anything in that range is going to work out really well. And this is just a super lightweight rod. It was designed for Louisiana inshore fishing, but works in the Florida fishery just as well. So this is a super nice rod. Definitely deserves its own review video, which I will be working on soon, but very comfortable, real seat, like the little foregrip there. And it's just got a really nice action to it and very lightweight again, where I can just cast it all day. So that's gonna wrap it up. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about this reel, and I'll do my best to reply to those. Like and subscribe the video, and we'll catch you next time.